With Coach Daren Sammy after the conclusion of the series against Ireland. Daren, it ends 1-1. What are your immediate reflections on the series?
I mean, I would love to start much better. No excuses for the way we played in the first game, even though it's been about 5 months since we last played. But after that, the way I challenged my guys to be more, to have more presence in the game, whether it be body language, mindset, tactics, everything, and to see the way they responded over the last 2 games, even though one was rained out. You know, it showed like this is what we've been doing in ODI cricket over the last year. So yeah, 1-1, but I'm still disappointed in the way we played or started the series.
I was speaking to a couple of people off camera and before this interview about how you've got this ODI team playing now, and I think one thing that's really clear with this ODI side is irrespective of who plays and in what position, you can tell that they all know there's a clear role that they've got to fulfill. And just want to get an insight from you about, is that something you've been really keen on impressing irrespective of the individuals playing?
Yes, I think in order for you to have a clear plan and a process, you got to understand the roles that is required in order for us to be successful. And one of the first things we did was to have honest assessment of where we were as an ODI team. You see my analyst is at the back there. He's in the back there, but the work that you know, I've challenged him and the work he's put in getting the data available across, you know, the formats that we've been in fine-tuning roles and being clear about what is required for us to do to challenge the elite teams and get victories, and then to present it to the guys and for them to go out there and execute or go out and try to execute. It shows that, you know, the hard work that we've put in from a data standpoint, matched with the personnel we've put in to fill the roles, we have in progress.
And speaking of a few individuals before we wrap up, Carty, I was looking at Casey's history. So I interviewed Casey when he made his debut back in the Netherlands. I think he scored 44 in the 2nd or 3rd ODI. It's since you've come as coach that he's now taken that number 3 position and cemented it. What did you see in Casey originally? Because we're 2 years on now since Casey's moved to number 3. What made you want to put him there and give him the responsibility?
Again, it's conversations. It's understanding what the role required, and again, Avi doing his data, checking out the top 4 teams in the world, because that's where we want to aspire to be, the top 4 teams. Seeing what the different position brings. And once we understood what was required, again, to get the personnel to fill that role. Before I came about, Carty was playing a last game in a series that was lost. And then the series would start again and he would not play and then play the last game of a series. And kudos to our captain, Shay, the conversations we had in finding that number 3 player. And we identified Carty as the one to do that role. I remember my first conversation with him when we started in Dubai. It was against UAE. He has the skills. Some of the things we spoke about, his strike rate, his dot ball percentage. And up to yesterday, I think Avinesh and myself was looking at his progress. Since 2023, I think he's scored about 1,660 something runs before that 170 at an average of 50 plus, striking at I think 90. So it just shows with the clarity, with the backing, understanding the process and putting the work. Carty, he's one of one of the shining lights for us, and so too Matthew Ford, Moti, and again, like you said, just guys coming into an environment where they understand what is required, and we're still trying to build and move forward as an ODI team.
I don't want to keep it too long, so I'll end with one last one. Jayden Seales took 3 for 21. I do want to highlight him, because the reason I bring up Jayden is because when he also first had his entry into ODI, he's got all the great test exploits that he's had. Found it difficult initially to bring that over to ODIs, but the series versus Bangladesh, just at the back end of last year, and this series, he's continued. What's been the click that makes it look like Jayden's coming to grips with the ODI game?
Again, it's clear conversations. You know, we all. One of the coaches always say your mindset determines your skill set, or contributes to your skill set. These guys have been putting in the work. It's about consistency. Obviously, Jayden has suffered a lot of injuries. You know, I remember, you know, him being in the team against India back in 2023 when we started, sending him to South Africa to get prepared for the Australia series. He got injured, but we got a Shuma Joseph in as a replacement, and then, you know, we trying to find different roles, and we saw his exploit in Test cricket with the new ball, and we reckon if he could repeat that. And it took a few games. You know, he was in Sri Lanka, but by the time he got to Bangladesh, you know, you've seen here he missed the first game because of illness. But stuff like that makes us really happy. The work Rafi Rampal, who's just come on. You know, I know we're talking about Jayden, but, you know, just to understand the different people that bring different skill sets, whether it's from a coaching standpoint and as a player, we all need that for our teams to be successful. And as the leader, as the head coach, you know, that's the environment and that's the culture we're trying to build.
Listen, Daren, I'm going to let you leave because you got some more cricket in England. You got Test cricket, so let me let you go get some sleep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Cheers, thank you.